SEC. As far as the Oklahoma Sooners, 6 consecutive wins. They've got 3 straight wins of 20 or more points. And Reagan Beers is the SEC Player of the Week. What do you like about her these days?
Well, Beers is one of the nation's top players. This dominant 6'4" post player leads Oklahoma in scoring, averaging 18 points per game, 9 rebounds, following a pair of standout performances and 2 victories last week versus Arkansas and Vanderbilt. Beers was named SEC and Naismith National Player of the Week, where she had back-to-back 30 points.
And it'll be Beers and the Sooners controlling the tip. Raina Scott glides in for an initial try that's no good. And a quick rebound by Carly Weathers, kind of the glue player for the Crimson Tide.
Well, both teams love to get up and down and have a high pace in transition. This is going to be a fun game to watch.
Oklahoma 2nd, Alabama 7th in the SEC in scoring, but they are 1 and 2 in field goal percentage. In part because they get pretty good looks like that from Cody, but there's the defense of Reagan Beers.
Well, Essence Cody is coming off a big game against LSU, scoring 17 points. She had 15 points at half.
So to the free throw line is going to go Sahara Williams. You saw the Oklahoma starting 5. The most recent addition has been Raina Scott at the guard position. She's been a difference maker since being inserted. And here's the sophomore Sahara Williams to the free throw line.
Well, I cannot wait for this matchup between Sahara Williams and Sarah Ashley Barker. Both are tough competitors, and we'll see which one can stay out of foul trouble.
Too good there for Sahara Williams. She is a very much improved shooter this year. She had a 27-point night against 12th-ranked Kentucky just a couple of weeks ago.
Well, you can see Alabama right now. They love their ball screen offense, and it does a really good job of moving without the basketball. And right now they're going to try to play inside out off of this pinned down screen.
Cody can't find anybody open at that high post spot. Curling around the screen is Green. She'll pull the trigger and tie this game.
Yes, Zay Green, you think about this. At a point guard, she's 6'2", elevates off the middle ball screen jumper, and what a great offensive possession.
Cody got a piece of that as Oklahoma tries to get it into Reagan Beers. You mentioned the back-to-back 30-point games that she had. Another thing these teams have in common, they had to play without key pieces for a period of time, and that'll be an offensive foul call against Beers, as they say she got her forearm up there and knocked Essence Cody to the floor. So we have to keep an eye on potential foul trouble both ways. Beers is going to exit quickly in favor of the 5th-year senior Liz Scott.
Well, one thing that you mentioned about being short-handed, I mean, losing Sarah Ashley Barker, team calls her SA, Chad, going down with a lower leg injury in January, and Diana Collins off the bench had to really step up and fill that void.
Yep, missed 5 games as Verhulst goes up and draws a foul as she tried to block the shot of Essence Cody. But Alabama went 3-2 without their star player, so they acquitted themselves well without her.
Well, I think it goes back to the culture that SA and Aaliyah and I were talking about. Their team motto is GLG, grit, love, and gratitude. And this team has bought into that culture, and they know it's a team effort, even though Alabama heavily relies on these starters.
Freshman Essence Cody quiets the crowd. Was on the SEC All-Freshman team a year ago. 120 career blocks for her. She's the anchor defensively. Crimson Tide take this quick 4-2 lead.
Yeah, I love what Coach Curry said about her. She said she's the nicest player on this team, but she has really grown to be really tough and have some grit about her.
Williams wrangles the rebound and has the first Oklahoma field goal of the afternoon.
Well, talk about some grit. That's what Oklahoma needs from Williams, coming off of 5 rebounds in the last game, and so she is one to you got to box her out and keep her off the glass.
Sarah Ashley Barker doesn't take a lot of threes, but she does shoot it at a good percentage, 36% off with that try. Verhulst the trigger. Woo. And that's down for Peyton Verhulst.
Ooh, don't count her out here on senior day for Oklahoma. One of the best scoring guards in the country, averaging 15.6 rebounds. You've got to get a hand in her face.
Barker tries to counter, in and out, no good, and Liz Scott has the rebound. Now, Oklahoma got good news earlier this year as Verhulst triggers again. That one off right into the lap of Liz Scott. And this is Raina Scott. She rinsed it.
I mean, she's a 23% three-point shooter, but I love Jenny Baranczyk and how she empowers her players. Every one of them has the green light.
10-4 Sooners. This is an 8-0 Oklahoma run in a minute. They can hit you quickly. Cody posts as Scott watches her. Kick out for the three. Green, and she knocks that one down.
Hey, when you bring so much attention to the post position and draw two defenders, that's going to open up the perimeter players to knock down that three, and Green did an excellent job.
Tied with 4 starters who shoot 36% or better from three-point range.
And when you think about both teams, Chad, I mean, 4 out of the 5 starters are averaging double digits. I mean, that's big time.
There's a 2, the first bucket for Aaliyah Nye. She had 28 in that big win over LSU. Now the Van got shut down in that mid-post area. Verhulst, her third three-point try, and she's made 2 of them.
Well, I know that Alabama does a really good job defensively. They will change it up. Right then, though, you got to know that Verhulst, and Coach Curry talked about this, you've got to find her at all times, and no way would you allow that young lady to have a rhythm, wide-open shot from the three.
Yeah, she basically said the best defense for Verhulst is don't let her catch it in the first place. Here's Williams. She'll put one up. That one is good. Oklahoma blistering the cords at the Lord Noble Center from three-point range.
Well, what an electrifying crowd here on Senior Day for Oklahoma. I mean, this is a shootout. I cannot wait to see the defensive adjustments that both teams are going to make.
Parker, long three, no. Skylar Vann has the rebound for Oklahoma. And the Crimson Tide, they do lead the SEC in three-point percentage. They will not back down from Oklahoma's red-hot start. Williams strong with that one. Nice rebound by Carly Weathers.
Well, you can see Sahara right now having a big matchup with Barker at the post position.
Rebound and the follow good by Essence Cody.
You know, just a miscue on the defensive end. You've got to drop and block out, especially Essence Cody standing at 6'4".
Weathers got a piece of that ball to tap it away. Parker turns down the three this time. Wants a screen and gets one from Cody. She'll pull up and pop.
Yeah, that was a good job by Alabama forcing the switch and being able to elevate against a shorter defender.
Raina Scott's pass is way out in front of Skylar Vann, and a turnover. Oklahoma already has made 4 threes, Latricia.
Well, this is amazing. We know that both teams put up a lot of threes, but when Oklahoma starts knocking down the three early in the game, that is a great sign for the Oklahoma Sooners, especially here on their home court.
Well, Senior Day for Oklahoma, 5 of them honored before the game. You saw Liz Scott, Lexi Keys, and Aubrey Jones and her family. Nevaeh Tot and Skylar Vann, accompanied by her sister Zaya, who of course is on the team, and the rest of the family. Oklahoma Athletic Director Joe Castiglione on hand. And one thing that's so amazing about this group is Tot and Vann. They are number 1 and 2 in games played at the University of Oklahoma. Their contributions to Nevaeh Tot, 5th all-time in assists. Skylar Vann, 7th in offensive rebounds. But these two, along with Liz Scott, go back to the Sherry Cole era. They have been here, and what a wonderful transition between the two head coaches, Sherry Cole and now Jenny Baranczyk, who frequently talk on a regular basis. It's been the culture that has carried over and made it so special for players to want to stay at Oklahoma, Latricia.
Chad, I think you nailed it when you said you have players that want to stay. And I feel like you and I have watched these two players grow up. It seems like they've been here forever, but what an incredible celebration prior to this game for the senior class. It's just a moment of reflection, appreciation, recognition for these players, but also for their teammates and families. So I'm going to grab your Kleenex, though, because when I saw Skylar Vann tear up, I mean, you think about all that she has gone through, and then having her sister here to play with her last season, that's pretty special.
Reagan Beers has returned for Oklahoma. She gathered up that rebound. She has made some top-of-the-key threes this year, and the Crimson Tide close out on her. Beatrice Culleton
nice.
is in. Beers scores it off the high-low, and she'll shoot one.
I'm going to tell you, I noticed this in their last game against Florida. I love this large lineup with Cullington and Beers for that high-low action. There is a mismatch right now because Alabama has gone small, and so that was a great execution by the Sooners.
Jenny Baranczyk said everything has shifted for this team. They found an edge, and they are attacking practice. And she said it's nice to know, because they didn't feel this way the entire season. She said it's nice to know that her team will go out and play well, just to have the confidence that you'll put out your best performance.
I think it goes back to those seniors, right, and the culture they have created, and they have a great locker room, and that definitely pays off, especially here starting in March. This is a great team.
Nye resets out top to Izuma. Christabel Izuma has entered the lineup. And Christy Curry said all three of her posts are likely going to have to factor in today against Reagan Beers. That's going to be a traveling violation, and just good defense against Zay Green that time.
Boy, I'm telling you, that's an incredible defensive possession, and I know for the Sooners right now, they want an even better offensive possession right here.
8-point lead for Oklahoma. The Sooners have made 4 of 6 from three-point range to start. Here's Culleton against Barker. A little strong, and a rebound by Green.
I love that, Chad. I mean, they're exposing that mismatch, and Coach Curry told us that she expected that today.
There's Barker to the bucket. Rebound from behind by Izuma. And out of bounds, it'll stay on this end. Jenny Baranczyk, she talked about her team's assertiveness, and she said in timeouts, they're coaching each other. And as a coach, that has to be super encouraging to watch.
It is. I mean, when you have a player-driven team and the leadership that both teams have, I mean, that's what you want, and that's why they're doing such a good job. And they're ranked in the top 25, I mean, because of players like they have.
Crimson Tide just 1 of 6 from three-point range to start this game. Wide open is Beers as the defender Izuma fell down, and Beers gets the easiest one she may get all day.
The attention she brings at the post player. I mean, every post player for Oklahoma rim runs, they gain deep positioning, and when Beers gets deep near the rim, it's over.
Here's Barker, played by Lexi Keys, a couple of veterans of the sport. Barker a little bit off with that. Beers another rebound. Verhulst. That's her third of this opening quarter. And Christy Curry's going to take a timeout. We talked about it. She said they have to get a hand up on Verhulst on the catch. That hasn't happened so far, and Verhulst has made the Tide pay.
No, and I guarantee it. Coach Curry is telling her team right now that that young lady can shoot from the logo. You have got to match up with her as soon as she passes half court. If not, that young lady is on fire.
So Verhulst now 70 made threes on the year. That's 4th most in the SEC, but so versatile. She had a triple-double earlier this year. 29 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists. Caitlin Clark and Peyton Verhulst, the only two with a 25-point triple-double against a top 25 team since 1999. But when we talk about the versatility of these players like Sarah Ashley Barker and Peyton Verhulst, we have seen it all season long in the SEC.
Yeah, think about the SEC and how tough it is. I mean, currently 7 teams in the top 25. I mean, you think about the first round next week in the SEC tournament, you're probably in that first game on Wednesday, you're going to see a 1 or 2 NCAA tournament team in the first round. That's almost unheard of.
We'll get into bracketology, but potential for 7 SEC schools to host. And both of these teams are right in the mix. In fact, according to Charlie Cream's bracketology coming in, both these teams would be host sites first 2 rounds.
Well, I hope so. I live down the street. I would love to come and watch.
We'll see the adjustments for Alabama out of that timeout. Nye trying to go to work. Nice ball fake. Got Beers off her feet. And here's Zaya Van, who has entered the lineup. Keys, an open look. Barely grazed the rim. Green the hit ahead for Nye, who has to save it. And here comes Verhulst.
Think about the pace of this game right now from both teams. I mean, one thing, the difference is Oklahoma has a deep bench. Alabama's does not.
Another 3-point opportunity for Reagan Beers. 7 for Reagan Beers. Christy Curry, of course, well aware of what Reagan Beers is capable of, but what a win it was for her team over LSU. She said they're trying to do their best to get a number 4 seed, the Coleman Coliseum, and a chance to host it for the first time ever, if they can do that. But she also said in the SEC, you've got to have a short memory, for better or worse.
Yeah, she said the rest of the night they enjoyed that victory over LSU, but then it was right back to business. They really couldn't celebrate it too long because Oklahoma was right around the corner.
What a beautiful drop step there by Green to get the bucket. That's a tie just now. One of their last 7 from the field. Josiah Van, shovel inside, and Beers gets an easy one. Wonderful feed by the freshman.
How about that freshman? I mean, to draw that second defender, and that's something that LSU struggled with against Alabama, is just drawing that second defender and getting that little dump off pass to the post player for an easy 2.
15-point lead is the largest for Oklahoma as we approach a minute to play in this first period.
And I like Alabama's offense right now. They're using their post player to come rise up out of the paint to create some more opportunities for their guards.
That's a big 3 for Barker to go down.
Chad, Coach Curry told us, don't sell her short because she can knock down that 3. It's just not her toughness at the rim.
She shoots 36% from there. Barker got a deflection there. And that one went off the face of Zahara Williams out of bounds. She just shakes it off. These two here, Barker and Williams, are tough with a capital T. I don't even know how you put it. They are stone-faced competitors.
Chad, if I'm going into a dark alley, I want both of them to go with me. I would feel extremely safe because you're right. They're just a swag and confidence and grit about these 2 players. Toughness.
Nye had it poked away by Keys. Here's Barker along the baseline. Beautiful feed, and Cody lays it in. What a dime there by Barker.
Yeah, Sarah Ashley Barker. That's one of the things that she really does well, is dribble around the post, mid-post area, and just is patient enough to draw that second defender and dump it to the post.
Shot clock and the game clock are just about even. Zia Van here for Oklahoma. Alabama has scored the last 5 to make it a 10-point game. That ball batted away by Barker. Skylar Van, no. She retrieves it, and it's blocked in there by Cody. 1 second to get it away. Another block. And that's the way this opening period will end, with Alabama defensively.
Well, there goes the sweet and the nice, right, that Coach Curry talked about when she was mentioning Cody Essence. Just the toughness of that young lady is pretty impressive. Well,
Oklahoma wants by 15. It's a 10-point game at the end of the first. Alabama's career 3-point leader in less than 3 seasons.
Yeah, she's, I don't know if you guys will watch that game or not, but it was probably one of the best college games that I've seen this season. And Leah Nye was one of the main reasons. I mean, she makes 3s look like layups. I mean, it is that easy for her. She's definitely a sharp shooter.
She lets it fly, and the Crimson Tide fans all start shouting layup. Left-handed post move there by Cody. Just a little drop step there. Alabama's calmed things down a little bit. They were down 15.
Yeah, I mean, that's one thing. I mean, I have so much respect for Coach Curry and Coach Baranchek, 2 strong women, best in the business, and they always have their teams well prepared. Williams
got her own miss and then got fouled by Nye from behind, and so Williams will shoot 2.
When you think about the offensive rebounds, and you know, Coach Curry told the both of us that she worried about rebounding, that she needed to make sure that she keeps talking to her team about blocking out, because Oklahoma has rebounding guards, and so they can't afford to allow them to get offensive putback, second chance opportunities, and get to the free throw line.
Oklahoma already a +6 on the boards. They lead the SEC in rebounding, and Alabama solid on the boards, but they only operate at about a +3 rebounding margin. So that is a concern, and it has shown up early. Back to a 10-point lead for the Sooners. Williams has 9. She's made 4 of 4 from the free throw line. Here's Nye. Sooners close out on Green, who takes Van off the dribble, and Van reached in, got caught with her hand in the cookie jar there, trying to poke it away.
Yeah, I like that. And, you know, that's one thing with Oklahoma right now. They're allowing the pass around the perimeter. They're just containing, and containing that dribble is going to be extremely important for the Sooners.
Do people have cookie jars anymore, Latricia? Maybe hand in the pantry?
That's a great point.
Speaking of hand in there, Verhulst with the steal and the bucket on the other end, and a foul against Cody.
Well, that's one thing that I was taught at a very young age. If you're going to foul, make sure that offensive player doesn't score, and especially for that putback right here from Peyton Verhulst. I mean, what an incredible job of knocking it down and getting to the free throw line.
You know, I was going to say earlier, Oklahoma got good news in that Peyton Verhulst was not a part of senior day.
Ooh, I saw it.
She got another year back from the NCAA, so she gets to come back for another season in Norman.
Oklahoma is celebrating that today as well. And you talked about that pantry. I have a lot of, I'm a sneakerhead, so I have a lot of sneakers in my pantry.
That's what we have more these days, the sneaker pantry.
I saw your kicks today when you walked in. Come on.
Just got a new pair. Turnover there against Williams. Weathers. Zay Green. See if Nye can get going from downtown.
Ooh,
maybe that's the start of something.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, if you're going to talk about a shootout between Peyton and Aaliyah, that is going to be a fun game for the fans. But defensively, you've got to get out and run them off that line.
Barker knocked that ball away from behind. Here's the three a moment ago.
Yeah, and Tot, I mean, she was there with, you know, one hand, but again, you're going to have to run Aaliyah Nye off the three-point line and make it hard on the catch for her.
That's the century mark in threes this year for Nye. Now, how many deflections per game do you think Barker gets?
Well, you know, people on the, you know, a lot of staff on the bench, you know, they'll deflect, you know, chart deflections, steals, but I would like to see her stat on how many times she hits the court during a game, because she actually in the last 24 games she's drawn 17 charges.
Wow. Here comes Collins off the steal. Verhulst took it from her. Peyton Verhulst off the dribble, fouled, and Peyton Verhulst is really impacting this first half, Latricia.
Yeah, I mean, she's an incredible player, one of the best to do it in the SEC, and this young lady has led this team not only in the locker room but on the court, and so they need her to be on for them to pull off this victory against a very good Alabama team. 12
points and 2 steals for Verhulst. She's already made 3 of 4 from downtown. Barker picks her up. She'll shoot it anyway. Here comes Zay Green. That was tipped by Tot, and then Barker alertly got her hand out of the way.
Well, I like the defense that Alabama is running against the three-point shooters for Oklahoma. They're aggressively switching, making it a little bit harsh. That's an adjustment coming out of the timeout.
Christy Curry's so good with defensive adjustments.
Oh, man.
Green around the rim and in. That's a home run bounce. That's like playing at Coleman Coliseum right there.
You're exactly right.
Nevaeh Tot, seniors into the game for the Sooners. So Williams. It's Alabama's extended the defense with Beers out of the game right now. Skylar Van. Here's Tot lining up a three. That one is good, and Oklahoma has now made 6 of 10 from downtown. Well,
Nevaeh Tot needed to see that ball go in. In the last game, she was 0 for 4 from the three-point. She's only shooting 29%, but here on senior day, it's a great sign for the Sooners.
They run Collins off the three-point line. Barker will take it and make it from the corner. I think she may have had something to say to the Oklahoma bench over there after that one went down. I don't blame her.
There's nothing wrong of knocking it down and turning around and having a little bit of a stare down. That's just the competitor she is.
As Christy Curry said, she has a respectful edge as she plays.
She has my respect because I really like the way that she plays.
Out it comes to Green. One-on-one against Van. Beautiful swivel and
nice.
score. She's got excellent footwork.
Well, that's something that Coach Curry mentioned to us as well, that we're going to run a little bit of that overload to isolate some of their key players like Zay Green.
Liz Scott will earn 2 free throws, and the foul is against Barker. That's her first.
Well, Chad, you can see here this isolation play by Zay Green. And you got to think about it. This is a 6'2" point guard that can exploit size advantage at that position. And we could see that she did that in that offensive possession.
Liz Scott to the foul line. One of the seniors honored today. Just an incredible journey. She has always been there for her teammates, even when she's been sidelined by injury, which unfortunately she has for 2 years, including last year. She was unavailable coming back from a shoulder surgery.
But Chad, what I loved about it is that she was there for her teammates, like you just mentioned, but during games she would get so frustrated and a little bit of emotional because she wasn't out there helping her team, and she would just walk to the back tunnel, gather herself, and then come back. She didn't want her teammates to see it.
Could you feel for that as a coach? You ever just want to walk up the tunnel and catch your breath?
Oh my goodness! Yeah, that's when you
a
have those
rhetorical question.
Yeah,
isn't
let's
it?
not even go there, right?
7-point Oklahoma lead. Sooners have led by as many as 15. Here's Green, and Skylar Vann claims the miss for Oklahoma.
You can see Alabama. We mentioned defense, but they're getting up in defensive transition, matching up quickly. Good job in that possession.
We've got a foul off the ball as Beers and Azuma get tangled up, and referees are going to put their heads together here. Angel Kent, Roy Golbian. Interline is our 3rd official, and it'll be a foul on Azuma.
Yeah, Azuma is known for her defensive presence. I mean, she's a rebounder, she's a rim protector, likes to block shots. You can see right now that you got to love when the 2 bigs battle inside. Sometimes you've got to allow them to do some of that little, oh, well, that's a little extra right there. I can see Beers in her arm, but yeah, you're gonna see some of that physicality inside today.
So they're going to review this, I think, for contact above the neck.
Right.
And they will come and explain this to us and give the announcement here inside the Lloyd Noble.
The previous play is under review for a potential not unobserved, intentional, or disqualifying foul.
So that's what they're taking a look at, and we don't know if they're observing or the unobserved contact by Azuma or Beers as we get another look at it. So you've heard what Roy Golbian is over there looking at. We'll step aside for a timeout. So as we were away, they reviewed the exchange between Azuma and Beers. And Tricia, what did you see?
Well, I think, there's no further penalty. Azuma will get the foul. But right now, if you can see the post player, she's just trying to establish position. And that's, to me, a basketball play. I mean, it's going to be physical inside. You can see Azuma, she's leaning into her. They're attached at the hip. But to me, that was just a good, solid basketball move. It's a little bit different. She led with her elbow, but again, I agree with the officials.
So the foul stands on Azuma, and it is the second on Azuma. She is the first player. I beg your pardon. Nye also has 2 for the Crimson Tide, so those 2 have a pair of fouls. And Alabama doesn't play an extremely deep roster. Their starting 5, they're very reliant upon them. 4 of the 5 starters are averaging 33 minutes or better in SEC play. And Oklahoma's kind of the opposite. Nobody plays more than about 24, 25 minutes.
No, you're right. Diana Collins for Alabama is the only one averaging 21 minutes, but against LSU the other night, Nye and Barker fouled out, and Coach Curry told the bench at halftime, be ready, because you're going to win this game, and they did.
38-30 after Beers makes 1 of 2. Reagan Beers, reigning SEC Player of the Week, has 10 points in the opening half.
You see Green coming off of that double stagger, looking to feed the ball inside, but what a great snake move right there to get the ball downhill and the kick out for the 3.
And Diana Collins knocks it down. She's another one, 37% from downtown this year. Verhulst spins off a defender but couldn't convert it. Carly Weathers ups the tempo for the tie. Here's Barker, one-on-one. Beers came over but didn't get there in time, and Barker knocks it home.
Yeah, Sarah Ashley Barker, we're going to say her name a lot this afternoon. Again, just a tough player and a great finish at the rim.
Van off the mark with the mid-range. Verhulst resets to Van again, and she was 0 for 2 on that trip.
Well, Alabama's lucky. It's going back to the long shots, bring long rebounds. You've got to make contact because Oklahoma does a great job of crashing the offensive glass.
Tide been able to weather the storm. Once down 15, they could tie it up here with a 3.
And you can see right there on that defensive possession, Peyton Verhulst did not come over to help, leaving Green wide open.
2 to shoot, and a tie ball game on the late shot clock triple by Green.
Hey, and I can see why she's playing a no catch on Green, because Green is playing extremely well right now. And again, these players on the court for Alabama are 3-point shooters.
8-0 run for the Tide here in the last minute 15, including this.
Well, again, Sarah Ashley Barker just muscling her way to the rim, knocked Lexi Keys out of the lines. And so again, that toughness, I would honestly try to take a charge on that young lady. When she puts that head down, she's going to the rim.
Oklahoma without a field goal for over 3 minutes. Alabama with a chance to take the lead. Barker posts against the freshman Zaya Van. Tough defense. And Raina Scott retrieves it for the Sooners.
Yeah, don't let her size fool you. I mean, that's a tough young lady, and for her to muscle her way and push Ashley Barker away from the rim says a lot about that young lady's mentality.
Oklahoma with the turnover. That's their 7th in the first half. Crimson Tide on a current 8-0 run with 3.5 to play in the opening half. Regular season finale. Green hits another one, and Alabama has a 3-point lead. Jenny Baranchak with a timeout for Oklahoma.
Well, both coaches are fiery. They're one's happy and one's not. But right now, we talked about how big of this game is for both teams for postseason, and they've got to do a better job of getting out and defending the 3. And what a great kickback for Zay Green, and to get her team excited, and it just changes the momentum. So there needs to be adjustments made. Both teams rely heavily on ball screen offense, and you've got to be aggressive at the point of attack.
What is at stake? We're talking NCAA tournament. Once again, Charlie Cream has both of these teams as a number 4 seed, hosting the NCAA first and second round. And as far as the SEC championship is concerned, the winner will be 5th and the loser will be 6th as far as the seeding concerned. But both will receive opening round byes in the SEC championship there in Greenville, and will get the day off on Wednesday, open play Thursday. Alabama with an 11-0 run to take their first lead of the afternoon, and Oklahoma taking the timeout. Keys sidesteps and fires. And that's off of Beatrice Culleton of Oklahoma, with Barker able to fend her off.
Well, you can see Oklahoma has gone with their double bigs coming out of that timeout, still looking for that high-low action. And I think if they can post up Beatrice and pull Beers away from the basket, they're going to have success.
Green blocked, but a foul call. So that foul is against Zaya Van. That is her first. And a pair of free throws here for Zay Green, who's had a solid first half of 17 points on 7 of 9 from the field. Here's that Charlie Cream bracketology with both these teams as 4 seeds. And you see all the way down to 7 SEC teams could potentially host. And Ole Miss, Vanderbilt, Mississippi State set to get in. None of the SEC teams are really on the bubble here on the final day of the regular season. What a half here for Green, Latricia.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Zay Green, again, she's 6th in assists. She's 16th in scoring, 12th in field goal percentage. She can play the 1 through the 3. I mean, she's a great, great player for Alabama.
Barker back-tapped that, and a foul call against Barker. As they say she bumped into Beatrice Culleton. I believe it's going to be free throws for Culleton. Yeah, this scoring outburst for Zay Green, it's not out of the ordinary. She had 27 against Ole Miss, and Florida had a 28-point game against Cal. Zay Green's a 7th-year player with a couple of injuries that sidelined her.
You say
Culleton.
7th?
7th, yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Beatrice Culleton stops a 13-0 run by Alabama. Around the rim and in. First 2 for Beatrice Culleton off the bench for the Sooners today.
Well, again, that step up. They wanted to force that screen on that step up, but Oklahoma did a really good job of just opening up and shooting the gap.
Green left alone. And Beers. Reagan Beers now 10 points and 4 rebounds in the first half. Zaya Van, the mid-range lands.
How about that shot to get the defense to leave their feet to attack the top foot of the defender? And I mean, that's just an amazing mid-range jumper from Zaya Van.
And that's her first bucket. There's Nye. Keys poked it away, but Nye got it back. Fall away is good. She is more than just a 3-point shooter. She's got that back down game.
Ooh, that's a Las Vegas Aces Asia Wilson move right there. That little fadeaway jumper over that left shoulder. Nice move.
3-point lead on the ball for the Tide with 1:30 left. Christy Curry up to give instructions to Barker and now Green.
Well, that showed you how many great players are on the court right now and sitting on the bench. I mean, there's several WNBA representatives here today watching both teams play.
Barker. And Zaya Van the other way. They didn't shut her off. Tried to lob that for Culleton, who was not ready. And that's 8 Oklahoma turnovers in the first half.
Yeah, I think with Zaya Van, she probably should have scooped it and tried to go up with the basket instead of trying to make that extra pass that deep by the rim.
What a save there by Sahara Williams. Lexi Key, she'll try another. That one is good.
Ooh, that's something that Coach Curry talked about. She loves Lexi Keys. Remember her time at Oklahoma State, and right now that was a poor decision for Alabama not to defend the 3-point line first and then worry about the rim.
4th tie of our opening half. Green couldn't break it, and then a foul on the floor on the rebound. Now that's only 3 team fouls against Oklahoma in the period, so no free throws. We'll see who the foul is against.
Coach Baranchek would like to know that as well right now.
Against Sahara Williams, and that is her first.
Okay.
So an inbound play here for the Crimson Tide. Little shuffling of players and personnel. Barker is going to check out.
Well, that's a young lady that played 40 minutes the other night. And I thought she, on that possession, looked a little tired. So this is smart for Coach Curry to give her a breather.
Green probing the defense. 3 launched by Weathers. No. And Oklahoma can hold for the final shot, which would give them the lead headed to the locker room.
And that's what Oklahoma wants. They've had 19 games this season that they have won leading at the half.
6 seconds left. Beers for 3. No. And the long rebound will end the first half. We are right back where we started after an entertaining first half, Latricia.
Well, it is, and I think the adjustment that both teams need to make coming out of the locker room is, one, for Alabama, is blocking out and rebounding, not giving Oklahoma second chances. And then for Oklahoma, you've got to get out and defend the 3.
It was a shootout. Oklahoma hot from the 3 line. They once led by 15, but the Tide back for the tie as we head to the locker room at the Lloyd Noble Center. To lead all scorers, Reagan Beers had 10 for Oklahoma. And we kind of glance at fouls. Nye and Azuma have 2 apiece, as does Barker for Alabama. Remember, they're not a super deep team. Nobody for Oklahoma has more than 1 personal foul. Sooners with the first touch to start half number 2. And a wrestling match inside between Beers and Cody. I don't know how else to put it. It is physical, and Cody is going to be hit with the foul.
Well, I get what Cody was wanting to do. She's trying to release, because post players love the contact. That's how they can make reads to get to the rim and score. And so I like the adjustment from Coach Curry of fronting Reagan Beers. But again, you've got to do it without fouling.
So are they going to count the basket? They have right now, but they're headed over to look at it.
The previous play is under review for off-ball timing.
Off ball.
Off-ball timing. Okay, we'll be in. Angel Kent will look at it. For now, Oklahoma has taken a 2-point lead. Well, a little further explanation being given to Christy Curry by Roy Gulbian, because after the review by the officials, Latricia, they have given Oklahoma the basket, and the foul occurred after the basket, so they'll get the ball as well.
That's good for Oklahoma, and I can see Coach Curry still discussing that call with the official, and so it makes sense. But you know, this is a great opportunity for Oklahoma to put up more points on the scoreboard. So this is definitely in favor for Oklahoma.
So 47-45 on the bucket by Williams. Beers reposts inside, draws a quick double team, and it'll be a held ball. Possession arrow goes the other way.
You've got to give credit to Cody Essence and Reagan Beers. I mean, they are battling inside it. And if you love post play, this is a game that you want to be watching.
Essence Cody really battling hard in there with Reagan Beers. So the Tide with a chance to tie or retake the lead here. That is a three that's down, and Essence Cody has made her 8th of the season. Well,
hey, don't count her out on that either. You've got to get out and defend her. Against LSU the other night, she had a big three to end the second quarter.
Skylar Vann misses the three the other way, and then a foul on Williams.
Sooners foul number 6, Sahara Williams.
So Sahara Williams has picked up her second personal foul. And Alabama has taken this lead of 1 point, just underway in the second half. Zay Green had that great opening half, guarded by Raina Scott here, and off the ball on the complete other side of the floor, Barker and Skylar Vann get tangled up, and they call a foul on Skylar Vann.
And that's off ball. I mean, the action.
It was almost off the court.
Off the court. That's exactly right. But, you know, Alabama is doing a really good job trying to force that step-up screen for that defense to switch, and Oklahoma did a really good job of just staying with their matchup.
So on Vann, that is her second foul. Some quick foul trouble developing, and the two-pointer is good by Aaliyah Nye. Alabama with a 3-point lead. Here's the high-low look. Williams
nice pass.
Fouled. See if that's on the shot or on the rebound. It is against Barker. It'll be 2 free throws here for Williams.
Again, mismatch inside, and when you have a Reagan Beers that can pop up to the top of the key, and you have to defend her because she can knock down that 3 spot. I mean, and you have Sahara Williams inside, and as strong as she is and can post up smaller guards, I mean, that's a deadly combination.
So Williams doing damage from the foul line today. She's 5 out of 5 and has a dozen points, tied for the Oklahoma team lead with Peyton Verhulst. That personal foul was number 3 on Barker. So monitor the foul situation with the Tide here. Zay Green crosses over on Scott, shoveling it up there. Kind of lost it on the way up.
She did. She needed maybe one more dribble to get to the rim.
And the lane just parted for Raina Scott.
But when you have shooters, that happens, right? When you have to get out and defend that perimeter, it opens up a lot for guards like Raina Scott to get to the rim.
51-49 Oklahoma now. Or 51-50, I should say. Weathers trying to back Verhulst into the post. Barker cut off by Williams. They battle. Barker count the basket and a bump foul against Williams.
Well, you can see the exchange right now between Coach Curry and SA as her teams call Sarah Ashley Barker. And we talked about her toughness, right, Chad? And look to swim move and get to that rim and fade away and to finish that shot. And then my highlight is when she goes over to the sideline and high fives her coach. I mean, there's just a great respect between those two individuals.
So that is 3 on Williams. These two both have 3. Barker and Sahara Williams. Foul shot no good. What a wrestling match won by Cody to earn a trip to the free throw line.
I may have to videotape that. That is a perfect example of a swim move and gaining position for that offensive rebound off of a dead ball situation. I mean, that was absolutely textbook by Cody Essence.
So that foul is on Skylar Van, and that is her 3rd. So foul trouble both ways. Essence Cody earns a pair. Skylar Van goes to the bench with 3. So it is 3 against Barker. And then for Oklahoma, 3 against Skylar Van and Sahara Williams.
Chad, here it is. Put it in your book. Look at that. Hold down the left arm of Oh my gosh, of Skylar Van, and to swim move with that right arm to get that offensive board and put back. I'm telling you, I'm going to record that and use it as an example for the next team.
Headed to basketball camp.
Come on.
You, to training camp. That one is behind Raina Scott. The Sooners a little off right now offensively.
But you talked about the foul trouble for both teams. It actually plays in Oklahoma's favor because they have depth on their bench. Alabama plays their starters over 30 minutes per game, and so I can see them hurting just a little bit if that takes place in this game today.
Team foul starting to mount up. Oklahoma's already committed 4, and that's an offensive foul against Liz Scott as she knocks down Aaliyah Nye. That is 5 fouls against Oklahoma.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, you got to give credit to Alabama. And we talked about their defense in the first half, and just players that sacrifice their body for their team and for the win. I just love Rip players, blue-collar workers like that.
They're both laying it out here this afternoon. First foul on Liz Scott. But with the offensive foul, no free throw shot by the Crimson Tide. They're in the bonus, though, the rest of this period.
I love Zaya Van defending, pressuring the basketball away from the rim.
Off the Beers rebound, here comes Verhulst. All the way into the bucket, but couldn't finish it. There's Beers to finish it with a foul.
Well, when you have players like Reagan Beers, you can afford to take shots like that, knowing that you have a player like Reagan Beers that can clean it up with an offensive rebound and putback. Ooh, look at that little hezzy move from Peyton Verhulst to get her defense on her heels.
So that's 12 points and 7 rebounds now for Beers, make it 13 points. And Oklahoma has retaken a 1-point lead. We have already had 7 lead changes and 5 ties, and we're not done yet. Nowhere close. Nye got that one away. Green for 3. Liz Scott claims the miss for the Sooners.
Zaya Van got lucky there. She overplayed the player with the ball and gave up her wide open 3.
Verhulst no this time. Zaya Van the reset for Verhulst. This time it's home. That's
well,
4 made threes for Verhulst.
Chad, we have a basketball game going on here in Lloyd Noble Center. Jenny Bronchek telling the crowd to get on their feet. You can feel the electric energy from the fans here from Oklahoma. This is unbelievable.
That one off the fingertips of Aaliyah Nye and out of bounds.
Well, this goes back to, Chad, we talked about the rebounding that I said going into halftime. You cannot allow Oklahoma to have second chance opportunities because of Peyton Verhulst setting up. And if she catches in rhythm, it's nothing but net.
Peyton Verhulst has aided the Sooners to a 6-0 run to take a 4-point lead.
You got to give the freshman credit to go after that offensive board and that extra possession. Big time play.
Sticking her nose in there. Beers fouled. That one will be against Cunningham. And Reagan Beers heads back to the charity stripe. 3 fouls against Cody and Barker. And now the interior depth being tested by Reagan Beers inside.
Chad, Oklahoma has 17 second chance points. Take away half of them, and look what the score would be for Alabama.
And they are plus 14 on the glass today. Many of them coming from the All-American Beers. And she gets 1 of 2.
And we talked about Alabama not going to their bench very often, but 2 key bench players out on the floor currently in a tight situation.
Zyvan with the rebound. Sooners quickly advance it to Beers, who has 2 more.
Incredible sideline break. Obviously, we know the pass is quicker than the dribble, and that was a great execution from Oklahoma in transition.
7-0 Oklahoma run and an Alabama timeout. 50 years of the Lloyd Noble Center. It welcomed its 2 millionth fan today, but rarely has it been as loud as this.
No, you're right, and I'm looking at the gentleman standing beside me, and I mean, he has better dance. I don't know, you probably have better dance moves than him, but this crowd is having a great time so far in this game.
Oklahoma, quick advancement. Reagan Beers is starting to go off.
I mean, that's an amazing sideline break, and for Reagan Beers to establish position early, that's a great start for Oklahoma.
60-53, Oklahoma is in the middle of a 9-0 run to retake a 7-point lead. These fans are wanting at least another home game or 2 at the Lloyd Noble Center, which Oklahoma is in position to get, as Charlie Cream's bracketology has both the Sooners and the Tide right now a number 4 seed in the NCAA tournament, and that would make each of them regional hosts for the first 2 rounds. Oklahoma, though, with this run of 9-0, what's been in the middle of this run for the Sooners, Latricia?
Offensive rebounding, knocking down shots, getting out and running in transition, what they like to do best. And when you make plays and you finish plays, you're going to win games. So Oklahoma's in a great spot.
Sarah Ashley Barker is back in for the Tide. She has 3 fouls. Remember, for Oklahoma, they have both Skylar Vann and Sahara Williams on the bench with 3 fouls. Nye off the mark with that. Reset as Weathers came out of the pack with it. Barker trying to back down Verhulst now. And Weathers is fouled by Vann, trying to make her scoot off the 3-point line.
Yeah, just got her with the body, and they know Carly Weathers is capable of shooting the 3. She's averaging 40% from behind the arc, and even though she was struggled last game with 1 for 4, I understand Zyvan and her urgency to get out there. You just can't foul a shooter.
Carly Weathers has become a starter this season, just does all the little things that you need, the glue element that coaches talk about so much.
I think people sleep on her. They, you know, all the attention goes to Sarah Ashley Barker and Aaliyah Nye, and she's the one, that the do-it-all player for Alabama.
It quiets the crowd a bit at the Lloyd Noble Center.
A bit, I like that. You're right, just a bit.
Midway through this 3rd quarter, Reagan Beers, ball fake, taking the dribble underneath the rim, and gets tangled up with Azuma.
Well, I like what Alabama is doing defensively on Reagan Beers. They know that Oklahoma has great shooters. They're staying out until Reagan Beers puts it on the deck and starts to create, and they're sending a second defender. Right then it was Sarah Ashley Barker looking for the double team, but Reagan Beers is so talented, and she uses her strength to get to that rim and to the free throw line.
That's 3 fouls on Azuma now. So you got Azuma and Barker and Cody each with 3, and Beers just continues to go to the free throw line. We were talking with Jenny Baranchek about maybe the difference. Reagan Beers missed 2 games with illness. Since she came back, she had the 2 30-point games. And Jenny Baranchek said it's been assertiveness, and she said you can see it and hear it from Reagan Beers.
Well, that's when you have someone that's stepping up vocally. I mean, that's big, and she may need to think about letting her sit out a couple more games going into this SEC tournament, because that sometimes those little breaks helps, even though I know she wants to be on the court.
Green drops that one down. She's got 22.
She's having a big game. Extremely big game for Alabama.
She's had 27 a couple of times, had a 28-point game earlier this season, so she can light it up. Verhulst. Barker out of the pack for the Tide with it.
Again, just a little drag screen in the slot and allowing Green to, if I'm Green, I'm taking that shot.
Sooners have numbers. Zia Van stripped by Barker, but she got it right back to score.
Well, that's what you don't see very often from Alabama. It's almost like they gave up on that play. I know that Sarah Ashley Barker was probably more afraid that she was going to get the foul called rather than stopping the layup.
3.5 to play here in the third. Oklahoma back up by 6. They led by 15 in the first half. That one a little bit short out of the hands of Nye. And here comes Keys sprinting the other way for the Sooners. Liz Scott in on Barker. Too strong. There's Beers. And Barker claims it. Beers goes down hard and is still down.
Oh, no. Yeah, you never want to see that from any player on the court, but she is still down holding her right knee.
Verhulst up high to block Azuma. Now Beers is back to her feet, but she's hurting as Zia Van triggers. And there's Weathers with the rebound for the Tide. And now Reagan Beers able to jog back to the other end.
Tough player. Alabama slowing down, going into, again, their ball screen offense. I love how Oklahoma is icing the ball screen.
Oh, up and under Barker. Able to fend off Zia Van and score it. 4-point game.
I'm telling you, Chad, she's still hurting.
Basket, they get to the other end so fast.
Well, that's what they do best. I mean, #1 in the country in pace, and I believe Jenny Bronchek is trying to get Reagan Beers out of the game.
But the clock has not stopped. We just haven't had a stoppage of play. She looks better.
She does.
Crunching screen by Azuma. Late shot clock here. Barker against Verhulst. 3 to shoot. Beers the rebound. And Alabama's a little gassed. Keys lights it up.
Well, this is the depth of Oklahoma. Lexi Keys has started for Oklahoma on several occasions, but really making an impact coming off the bench.
Step back to Green. Not this time. And Reagan Beers, 18 points and 9 rebounds. She's just kind of run her way through the paint. Verhulst, no. And the rebound by Weathers. I think both teams could use a break. I think I could use a break.
Well,
I've
stretched at least twice in this broadcast, but yeah, you're right. But right now, if I'm Alabama, I'm going after Reagan Beers right now inside, knowing that she's having a knee issue.
Big shot that time by Aaliyah Nye. She knocks down her second 3 of the day.
Or give it to 9, let her knock down the 3.
Keys the other way, can't convert it. And Azuma plucks the miss. Alabama not going away. Nye's got a dozen. Here's Barker trapped on that baseline. How about Green?
Oh, my goodness.
Her 5th made 3.
Chad, how many possessions have we had? I don't know how many players are at the scores table right now waiting to check in, but this is just a high-paced game. It's fun basketball.
No stoppages for about the last 3 minutes. And Oklahoma going to play for 1.
Can I have a drink of your water? I'm getting tired watching.
Inside, Liz Scott to the rim and in. Great feed by Verhulst. Last look, Green pulls the trigger. No. 5-point game headed to the 4th. We enjoy the energy in the regular season finale in Norman. We have a good one in the regular season finale at the Lloyd Noble Center. Jenny Baranchek, and you can see Reagan Beers still kind of grimacing with Tricia as she sits there in the huddle.
Yeah, you can definitely see the medical team beside her. making sure she's okay. But Chad, if you watch this replay, I think it was more of knee to knee with Zay Green. And you can see her holding her right knee.
Azuma tangled up there, and play went on for about 3 more minutes. Reagan Beers stayed on the floor the whole time.
I mean, we talk about the importance of this game and how tough that young lady is to play through that.
She's got a double-double today of 18 points and 10 rebounds. Zay Green has been fantastic for the Crimson Tide. She's made 5 threes. And, hey, this is how you want the regular season to go out. Even the referees were over here going, hey, that was kind of fun.
Hey, welcome to March Madness.
That's right.
This is what you play for, right? This is the best time of the college basketball season, and 2 great teams, 2 great coaches, a lot of fun.
So both these teams stand to be regional hosts, according to Charlie Cream's bracketology. Neither one of them has done anything to dispel that possibility here today. We have already had a final with South Carolina winning, and Texas well on the way to beating Florida, so we'll have a tie for first and a coin flip that we're going to have for the top seed in the SEC championship. And that coin flip is going to be at halftime of the LSU Ole Miss game this afternoon. It will be a coin flip, and the coin has an LSU logo on one side and a Texas logo on one side and a South Carolina on the other. Where do you get such a coin?
That I figured you have all the inside scoop. I just knew that you would know.
It'd be a good souvenir to have.
I would love that.
Nevaeh Tot squeezing for 3. And rebound ripped out of there by 9.
And Chad, you can see Reagan Beers not in the game coming out of that timeout.
Beatrice Culleton got a hand up to knock that away. Raina Scott running to the rim. Double clutch, bucket, and a foul. That will be against Green. Oklahoma's pace is a problem right now.
Well, we know that they have the highest pace in the NCAA. They can score the basketball quickly, and you can see Nevaeh Tot leading that break to Raina Scott, and what an incredible finish from that young lady.
The foul on Green is number 2. Raina Scott now 8 points on the afternoon, just getting better and better. Becoming a bigger part of things for Jenny Baranczyk and the Sooners.
You see Alabama slowing it down, going to set a step-up screen. But again, Essence Cody has got to dive hard to that rim.
She and Van, I don't know who they're going to call this foul against. It will be against Skylar Van. And that's 4 on Skylar Van. And so now Sahara Williams, who has 3 and didn't play much at all in the 3rd quarter, is back in.
That's back. I mean, that's a tough one when you have someone at the caliber of Skylar Van going to the bench. But again, the depth of Oklahoma, I don't think they're going to skip a beat.
Parker trying to back down Tot, who's called for a foul. It's 2 quick fouls against Oklahoma to start the 4th. And that is the first on Tot today.
Well, Alabama is sticking with their game plan coming in to today's game. When Nevaeh Tot comes in the game, they're going to look to post her up.
This is Vanna Collins, the Ohio State transfer, who is in and inbounding that ball for the Crimson Tide. Nye, just enough space to convert the 3 from the corner. That's her 3rd.
And talking about looking at the crowd and getting them to be quiet, I mean, that's a young lady that is just an amazing 3-point shooter.
Sahara Williams got tripped up. She beat everybody to the other end of the floor and will shoot a pair.
Yeah, and again, Aaliyah Nye, I mean, great pass from SA and staying deep in that corner, drawing the defense and great spacing, but she just automatic on the catch and just a rhythm shooter.
She can really hit them. 15 for her today, 3 of 4 from 3-point range. Now 102 made threes for the year. And Oklahoma back to the foul line. Williams has 14.
What I like about her, a lot of players in that corner, they'll get antsy and they'll start rising up the court, and that decreases the spacing. But she did an amazing job of just staying put, knowing the ball was going to find her.
Oklahoma by 6 with 8.5 to play. Barker off a Cody screen, just kind of weaving her way in, and a tough roll there. skip pass for Raina Scott. She'll turn down the 3. And that's tipped out of bounds. Off of 9, and then they say it hit Lexi Keys' foot and went, or leg, and went out of bounds. So it'll be Crimson Tide ball.
Yeah, Oklahoma needs to remember that that skip pass wasn't there in that first half either. I mean, Alabama does a really good job of getting out, and when you have that long of a pass, there's really not a chance for the offensive player to meet the pass.
Green trying to spin away from Keys. 10 to shoot now. Green will pull the trigger. And Barker has the rebound. Oklahoma making sure that Nye doesn't get a clean look. Barker pounds into Williams. And a foul call. Barker back to the line, and Williams may have to go back to the bench because that's her 4th.
That's crucial. That is crucial. She has to go to the bench, but how about Raina Scott? I mean, right now, if Aaliyah Nye went to the locker room, I would believe she would follow her. I mean, she is on her like a glove on a hand. I mean, this is definitely a great job by Raina Scott of not allowing her to catch.
So 4 fouls against both Williams and Skylar Vann for Oklahoma, and here is Barker at the free throw line. So you ask Christy Curry what makes Barker such a tenacious competitor, and she says she's got 2 brothers. She's got a twin brother, and yeah, I can see exactly why that would be. Jenny Baranchek has to deal with this foul situation over on her bench. But you've talked about Oklahoma's depth all afternoon long.
Well, I grew up with 3 brothers, so I get it. I mean, you have to toughen up.
Going to take you up a notch there.
And her brothers, I mean, they're football players, they're baseball players. I mean, she's from a athletic family.
Here's Verhulst back in. Foul line jumper off. Cody able to tip that inside. And there was a Tide player who touched it while out of bounds down there on the baseline. Couldn't quite see who that was.
I couldn't either, but good call by Roy. I may see him again. I'm going to keep mentioning. Great job.
Nice. Yep,
Great
gotta
job,
play
Roy.
nice. Barker all over Verhulst on that catch.
Nice pass.
Nevaeh Tots 3. No. And there's Weathers the other way. The unsung player for Alabama.
I mean, Alabama's going to stay true to who they are. I talked to Coach Curry about changing down the stretch, and she said, no, we're not a set team, we're a flow team. And so I don't see many adjustments taking place here in the last 6:52 of this game.
Barker pokes that one away inside, and here comes Green. Raina Scott all over Weathers.
Yeah, she is.
Now here's Cody squaring up against Beers. Late shot clock, it's at 7. And that's off into the hands of Raina Scott. Oklahoma wants to push it. Nobody watching Scott. And now finally Cody turns around. Beers, height mismatch, takes advantage of it. She went right over 9.
One thing I love about Oklahoma, they never change their pace. It doesn't matter what the score is. It doesn't matter what quarter you're in. They will rebound and they will go, and that wears teams down.
Barker going at Keys now. And a foul on the rebound as Beers got it. And that foul will be against Cody. It is her 4th.
Well, everything's going Oklahoma's way right now, and that's what you want here on senior day on their home court. This is a big game for both teams.
You can't help but think, Alabama, they had that rugged overtime game against LSU to pull out the win. Christy Curry's team will continue to battle to the wire, but Oklahoma continues to shuffle fresh legs in with under 6 minutes left.
Well, there they go, too, back into their 1-2-2 press. Sometimes you'll see a trap out of this. Sometimes you won't.
And Zaya Vann breaks down the defense for 2 more. What a super talented freshman she is. Playing a season with her sister Skylar, who celebrated her senior day today. Where does Alabama go here, Latricia?
Well, you go Well, right now you can see they're going late into the shot clock. They're patient, running their offense, but I'm going to knock down the three.
There's Collins trying to shovel one up there. Good defense by Zaya Van, who rebounds.
Yeah, I'm trying to find some way to get Aaliyah Nye open for the three.
They'll get Weathers for a foul as Liz Scott was trying to post up.
Now, if you ask me for Oklahoma, I'm going after Essence Cody right now, and I'm trying to send her to the bench with those 4 fouls.
She's guarding Beers as Verhulst rebounds for the Sooners. Verhulst and Liz Scott out top. Now Beers post. Cody took it. Boy, that is a bold play with 4 fouls. Well done.
And you got to give credit to Coach Curry. She has trust in Essence Cody and knows what she brings to this team, and they need her to win.
Quick conversion by Barker, who has 16, and Alabama now back within 6.
Oklahoma going into one of their sets. A lot of times they'll run a horn set into a flare, but right now you're looking at the double stagger away.
10 to shoot for Verhulst against Weathers. Spins away from trouble and scores. How smooth is that?
Well, smooth. That's exactly right. I mean, that young lady has ice in her veins. Not only can she shoot the three, she dives deep into that offensive toolbox and can pull away and create.
Weathers off the mark with that one, but Cody gets a reset for Alabama. We approach 4 minutes remaining. Big screen out there by Cody. Zaya Van reached in, and she fouled Barker. Got a timeout on the floor with Oklahoma up 8.
Sarah Ashley Barker, great Euro step, trying to get to the rim. She's just a knockdown player. And then let's not sleep on Peyton Verhulst. Incredible turnaround jumper for 2.
Here's the immediate foul situation. Essence Cody with 4, and then Nye Barker and Azuma 3 apiece for Christy Curry and the Tide. And on the Oklahoma side, Skylar Van and Sahara Williams 4 apiece, and then 3 for Zaya Van is the most pressing after those 2.
You got to go with them. I mean, this is a tough game, and you can't be passive if you're in foul trouble. You just got to continue to be aggressive and play your game.
Sahara Williams electing to run a little more time. Raina Scott pulls up, and Weathers the rebound for Alabama.
You know, you see that timeout helped a little bit with getting your breath because Alabama's already playing with more pace.
Barker lines up a corner 3, just in and out. Verhulst. Skylar Van's 3. And another rebound for Weathers. Weathers has got 11 rebounds in this game.
Do-it-all player for Alabama. Not to mention, Carly Weathers is a nursing student.
Oh, huge screen by Cody. Knocks Skylar Van to the floor, and Cody has fouled out.
That's it.
So Cody will have to exit with her 5th personal, and Skylar Van looks to be okay. You could almost hear that collision.
You could, and that's a big loss for Alabama, especially on a screen. You know, as post players, you've got to get into position to set that screen, not move, and allow the guard to come to you. And you can see right here, she just hooked her with that left hip, left shoulder, and yeah, it's definitely a foul.
And just slid that left foot one little extra half step. And so Essence Cody will foul out with 12 points and 5 rebounds on the day. And it looks like it'll be Azuma to replace her.
Azuma averages 9 minutes per game. She is shooting 50% from the field, only 49% from the free throw line.
It's her first season at Alabama after 4 years at Campbell University. Under 3 to play, and the ball kicked. As Green got her foot on it. Sees Zaya Van back in for Oklahoma.
Well, Chad, I think we know what Oklahoma is going to do. I think they're going to feed Beers inside because there's definitely a mismatch there. And if they collapse, then it's going to create for the shooters around the perimeter.
There's Beers backing her way against Azuma for 2 more. 22 and 11 rebounds for Beers.
What a game.
And Oklahoma back up double digits with 2.5 left.
You see in Alabama right now, not great spacing, but they're setting a lot of screens, but Oklahoma's doing an extremely good job of switching on those screens.
Nye had to go way out to get that shot away. How about a Weathers 3? Across the rim and out. Volleyball back out. A third try coming here as Green has it. Alabama 12 of 28 from three-point range, make it 12 of 29, and they'll get another look.
Yeah, you don't want that from Oklahoma. You've got to box out, and then it starts your transition, what you do best.
That foul call by the outside official will be the 5th against Skylar Van. So she becomes the first Sooner to foul out. Not the way that she would like to exit on senior day, but if her team gets a win out of it, I would imagine she'll take it. And with Oklahoma likely a regional host, it won't be the last time that fans see Skylar Van at the Lloyd Noble Center.
Yeah, and you can see that she's upset. I mean, that's a young lady that just cares about this game, this team, this win. You can see the towel over her head, and I get it. I mean, she wants to be out here, but you're right. It'll erase that if Oklahoma walks away with this big win.
Alabama has missed 12 of its last 13 shots from the field. So maybe the free throw line will be the tonic for the Tide as Barker quiets the crowd and hits a pair.
Alabama coming out in their 1-2-2 press with a trap.
And a travel, it worked as Verhulst is called for dragging her pivot foot. And in disbelief.
Got to score here. You've got to find a way to get Leah Nye open. Or you can even look for Zay Green to clear out isolation, get her to the rim, possibly to get to the free throw line. But you're going to have to make sure that this is a positive possession.
Weathers trapped under the bucket, and that stops a 3-minute field goal drought for the Crimson Tide. Still in it, and a timeout taken by Christy Curry.
Well, Alabama 7 in the SEC, averaging 79 points per game, but Oklahoma, I mean, they're on pace for their highest scoring season in program history, averaging 87, and we're about there.
Amy Baranchak instructing her team, and a first field goal in 3 minutes for Alabama, cuts it to a 6-point game. What an afternoon for Reagan Beers to close the regular season.
Well, we said that she's one of the best post players in the country, but just her versatility. But when she gets sealed that deep with that wide stance, she's hard to stop. Chad, it would take you, me, and half this.
You're on your own. Don't include me in trying to stop that.
Front, I can mess her a little bit. You'd have to front, and I mean, I think we could do a good job, but yeah, she's an incredible player.
6-point game. That one nearly errant, and Sahara Williams bailed out the Sooners.
And you can see now Oklahoma slowing down. And Alabama's got to find a way to extend this game. Wow.
So good with that spin off of her left foot.
Flip the hip move. I mean, but Alabama's allowing it. I mean, you've got to find a way to disrupt the flow of Peyton.
Barker batted away by Williams. With a minute left, Weathers hits a big 3 for Alabama. Back to a 5-point game.
40% three-point shooter.
Lexi Keys, as Oklahoma can run a lot of this clock off. Both teams are over the foul limit.
And fouls to give. I mean, this is something that you think about for Alabama. You've got to extend this game.
That will be 4 on Nye, and Williams will shoot 2. Aaliyah Nye's had 15 points today, 3 of 5 from three-point range. And now Williams, who's made a lot of headway at the foul line today, heads back to a friendly spot for her today. 7 of 8 at the stripe today. Just looks so cool and composed.
Yeah. Beautiful shot. Well, we always say at the free throw line, nothing changes but the pressure. And so that's just muscle memory.
Did you come up with that saying? If you didn't, you should point it. I love that.
I have to write that down.
1 of 2, though, and Green has the miss. Still just a 2-possession game. Green all the way in.
Yeah, I like
And
that
a foul.
take.
Count the basket. Not done yet. Green has put this team on her back. She's got 27.
No, this game isn't over. And for Alabama, that's just smart to isolation because she is such a great one-on-one player. And to get the and one and the free throw and get the clock stopped, that's what you want from Alabama. And expect this press coming out if she makes these free throws.
And it only took about 7 seconds to get from one end to the other. 27 for Green. She had that 29-point game earlier this season. That foul on Beers, by the way, is only her second. It's a great save by Weathers, but Oklahoma comes up with it. And then the foul will send Verhulst for a pair. It is against Green, and Green has picked up 3.
Well, if you get those opportunities, you're going to have you must knock those free throws down. And Alabama's been here, and Coach Curry, told us that there's a lot they learned from that last game against LSU going into overtime. And so I like what she says too, that coaches really don't make key adjustments during games. They stick to the game plan, and so it'll be surprising if Coach Curry goes to something different.
It's back-to-back free throw misses by the Sooners, keeping Christy Curry's team right there. And Verhulst gets 1 of 2. She's got 20 today and has made now 2 of 3 at the free throw line. And we've got a timeout. Alabama, I believe that is their final timeout. It is. So the tide out of TOs. What a great win for Christy Curry's team over LSU, 88-85 in overtime. On the road here today, fighting all the way down to the wire with the number 13 Sooners. What
an incredible game. Going to advance it, and you can see Coach Curry talking to her husband, which is an assistant coach on staff. He's the offensive coordinator. He works with the perimeters, and I know that he is going to have a big say in what happens in this next possession.
Christy and Kelly, and I know that Leon Barmore had a good deal to do with getting the 2 of them together.
Really?
And they are now coaching together. There's Kelly Curry. And both these coaches, they have a history against each other. Jenny Baranczyk, when she played at Iowa, she played against Christy Curry's Purdue team. And Jenny Baranczyk said, I remember how good and tough those teams were. Christy Curry said, oh, she was tough as well. Jenny Baranczyk was.
Yeah, they both bragged on each other, and you've got to love hearing that and seeing that from 2 strong women's basketball coaches.
They're both kind of connected to Sherry Cole as well, who is signing her book here today, by the way. Sherry Cole's got her new book out, The Compost File. Here's a look at the projections by Charlie Cream and bracketology. The Norman Regional right there is what you would have for the Sooners. They would host for the first time since 2022, Jenny Baranczyk's first season in Norman.
Did I see Mississippi State in that bracket? I believe Oklahoma lost to them early this season.
Barker with the quick bucket. 3-point game, still 1 possession here, and Verhulst is fouled again with under 14 seconds left. We'll see who this one is against.
I think that was Missouri State.
Missouri State.
Now that I look, yeah.
That's 2 on Weathers. And so now Verhulst can make it a 2-possession game if she makes 1 of 2.
You can see Coach Curry right now not happy with that call. I mean, she's fiery. You've got to love it. You've got to respect it.
Verhulst cashes that one in. .21 for Peyton Verhulst, and now 22, tying Reagan Beers. The Tide must advance it and score quickly.
Yep, didn't call it, but again, just giving Green the ball and telling her to go to work.
And the block by Beers.
Both coaches are, I'm talking about, I love the energy. I love the competitive spirit. They are in this game.
Weathers to inbound for the Tide. That three is off the mark, out of the hands of Aaliyah Nye. Williams the rebound. Alabama will get a foul with just under 2 left, and Oklahoma can sense it.
Yeah, probably
Cinching
should
the number
just,
5 seed in the SEC championship.
yeah, probably should just allowed them to dribble that out, and I think Coach Curry was wanting that as well, but I don't know if that's in Sarah Ashley Barker's DNA of not playing till the end. Chad, what an incredible game. I mean, this has been a lot of fun.
It has signaled that March has arrived, if we didn't know it already. Senior day for Skylar Vann and her teammates, but not the last time they will play at the Lloyd Noble Center. They're going to be a host. And Oklahoma has won it 91-84. The Sooners closed the regular season on a 7-game winning streak. Both these teams appear peaking at the right time.
They are, and what a great momentum going in for Oklahoma to the SEC tournament. Alabama going in at the number 6 seed, and now Oklahoma claims the number 5 spot.
Yes, they will. And so that means Oklahoma as the number 5 seed. Both these teams are going to play on Thursday. Oklahoma will play the second game of the early session, and Alabama will play the second game